Bad Ideas Production, and today we're going to talk about how to stay motivated while writing your script. I have finished 4 scripts since I started writing, not full time, but since I actually started dedicating my life to writing scripts. I finished 4 of them, and I'm not an established writer, by any means, but I have finished scripts, and that can't be said by a majority of writers nowadays. We have a lot of people that call themselves writers and don't finish anything. I at least have finished something, and that's why I want to give you some tips on how I did it. And so now I want to also say that I'm giving personal tips how I personally managed to continue writing and finishing these scripts and stay motivated while doing so. This is gonna be an extension of what like teachers usually give you. So if you watch like YouTube video or you go to class at school, whatever it is, this is gonna be just an extension of that. I'm not gonna give you like the cliche advice. I'm gonna give you what personally works for me, and hopefully that works for you. The first tip I'm going to give will actually be in effect before you even start writing your script, and it is picking the subject of what you're going to write about. So this why this is important is because you have to understand that before you write, you can't just pick something out of the blue and then expect to write to be consistent with it for months on end. Writing a script takes months, many months, sometimes years for some people, right? So you understand that you're gonna be stuck with this subject and this topic for a long time. So understand that with that comes some consequences, such as if you're writing a script that's depressing, you have to understand that when you write the script, you're going to feel depressed while writing. Since whatever you're writing about, you're gonna feel that emotion because you had to bleed onto the page, right? Emotionally. So if you're writing a comedy, you're gonna be in a more lighthearted, funny mood throughout the process, right? But if you're writing something more dramatic and more emotional, then that's exactly how you're gonna feel while writing this, right? For hours on end, for days on end. So you have to understand that you have to put yourself in that mental capacity every time you write this script. So write something that you're willing to feel. Because I've written some sad scripts, I've written some fun scripts, I've written some scripts with action. I've had to feel those emotions while writing them. And you have to be okay with that. If you don't feel these emotions while writing the script, it won't be genuine. Tip number two. So every day that I finish writing the script, so if I do like a 3 hour session, 4 hour session, 2 hour session, whatever that last thing I wrote has to end in a cliffhanger or in a manner where the next thing the next day I'm going to write is exciting. The next day I'm going to wake up and be excited to continue this story because you have to put yourself in the shoes of the audience, right? So if we're excited to continue the script the next day, the audience is going to be excited to see the next page, right? The next scene in the film. And if you're not writing something that is consistently evolving, consistently flowing, consistently progressing, then why are you writing in the first place? Well, why would the audience care if you don't care to write the next day? Tip number three. So now, when you're writing, and I kind of mentioned this earlier, understand why you're writing. You have to remember why you are doing this, right? There will be days where you just don't want to write. I don't know, for whatever reason, maybe it'll be mental, it's physical, you're tired, whatever it is. Remember why it is you're writing this script, right? Is it for fun? Is it passion? Is it a hobby? Whatever reason it is, just remind yourself why you're writing this. And that helps me a lot. All my scripts are personal to me in some way. And then when I'm have writer's block or I'm stuck or I just forget that for a second why I'm writing this, I just remind myself that I'm writing this because I have something to say. I want to make this into a movie. I have goals to meet. Whatever it is that you personally are writing this for, remember it and tell yourself, and it helps a lot. Tip number four. So this one's in conjunction with what I just said earlier, and force yourself to write. Be productive. Even if it's bad writing, just write it. It's okay. It's okay to write badly. You cannot edit blank page. I've been saying this for many videos before in this channel. Just force yourself to write because what you end up writing might help you in the future. You know, You might write it today, and it might not even help this script, but maybe whatever it is you write, you put another script. So just write badly. It's fine. That might even help you understand what's going on in the rest of the script, because when you write badly, you're just kind of subconsciously writing. You kind of just flowing, and that's some of the best writing that could be done. So I've had times where I'm writing a script and I have no idea what I'm gonna write, or maybe I just don't want to write. So I just write nonsense. It has to do with the story, or I'm just kind of just flowing with what I think is gonna happen, and I don't have no end goal. I don't have anything, and it ends up being some great writing that I end up using in a later part of the script, or in some way I put it into that script, and it helps, and it becomes way better because of this day that I didn't want to write, but I ended up forcing myself to write, and I got something great of it. Tip number 5, and this is my favorite tip. So writing a script takes a long time, and when you write, eventually you'll reach some sort of writer's block. And what I do to overcome this writer's block, don't get me wrong, you could read a book, watch a movie, um, read articles, draw, whatever it is, or move on to something else. But my favorite advice is to go outside, is to go experience life. How are you gonna call yourself a great writer if you never lived? Right? The best writers are extroverts that have living great lives. So be one. Go live a great life. You're stuck on a thing. Go take a weekend. Go in nature. Go on walks. Go talk to somebody. Some of the best writing I've ever done was after I took a little break and went and experienced life. I was stuck a little bit, and I went and lived. How do you expect to write about life when you don't have one? Don't be an introvert. Go be an extrovert. Go talk to people. Go have fun. Have a good time. Go be with friends. We are not God, even though we act like Him. We create things from nothing, but we are not God. We do not know anything. So go learn. There's no better advice in overcoming writer's block than to go have a life. So those are my tips that I personally, that person have helped me finish multiple scripts. I just want to end this video saying that a lot of time your first draft isn't going to be considered good, or it wouldn't even be considered bad. It's gonna be considered horrible to some people, and that's okay, because great writers are great revisers. You're gonna need a second draft, third, fourth, fifth, maybe sixth. I've heard stories about people writing 30 drafts, right? It doesn't matter, but you could mold it. It's scripts are malleable. You could form it however you want until it's perfect to you. And then when people read it, they're gonna be blown away, thinking, "Oh, you're so a good writer." When it didn't start that way, it ended that way. So don't be afraid to write bad, right? There's also this quote that my pencils outlast my erasers, right? We make mistakes. You have an eraser. Bad ideas production.